Hello there, it's Patricia from Pinky's World. Today I'm making this little box, another range of gift boxes I need for the month of April. As you know, I have lots of male birthdays. So this one, it opens just with a wee flap at the back here. There's plenty of space inside. It measures 3.5 inches up to that first crease, and then you have that wee bit of extra, and it's 1.5 inches wide, and it'll hold something nice, plus maybe a money gift. I'm not sure what I'm putting in it yet, but I know it's going to be a good size for me. So I thought I'd show you how I went about making it. It's made with Tranquil Tide card, and I've used the Geared Up Garage suite with it, which includes the ribbons and the dies and all those things. You can use whatever you want if you haven't got them, but I'll just show you a few tricks that I have had to sort out myself as I was going along. So we're going to start with our piece of card. All these wee bits cut. You're going to need a piece of card first that measures 7 6/8 by 9.5 inches, and you just need to do some scoring. So we're going to score on the short side first, and we're going to score at 1 inch, 3 inches, and 6.5 inches. And then just turn it round and score at 1/2 inch, 3.5, 5 inches, and 8 inches. Now that's all the scoring on your board, but you do have, keep your wee tool if you're using this board. You're going to have another wee bit of scoring to do to get those nice triangular dips in there, nice and neat. So we're going to do a bit of cutting. I'm not going to bother folding the score lines or anything. I'm just doing the cutting now. So I want to make sure that I've got this is going to be the top of the box, this is going to be the bottom, so we know to start here. So we're just cutting into these. This makes it easier on everybody. Just triangle cut them in right along the bottom there. Just wee wedges up. And these two shorter ones, we can actually whack a bit off them. We don't need so much on them. And then we're going to go up to the top. This is going to be one of the triangle parts, so we don't need this one. And we want to cut this one straight up. This is actually the wee lid of the box, and I'm going to round those corners. So keep them good and straight. And then the rest of that we don't need. We can whack it all off. And just cut in there, just like you did below. And that's your basic shape. This is your bottom, your closure. So keep that wee bit that you've cut off. You'll need it for a wee circle. We'll just punch it now actually. You need a 1 inch circle punch, and this is slightly over to make sure you get one end that has the round. Doesn't matter if it's, you know, straight at the other end, but get that perfectly round if you can. And then you can get rid of that. So we want to do our wee markings here so that we can get that nice and neat fold. So get yourself a ruler, and we're going to mark 3/4 inch up from, hopefully get it to the center if you can. Just lightly mark it, and then we'll make sure it's in the center. We know that this is 1.5 inches wide, so the center is going to be 6 centimeters, and just put a good wee mark there with your tool. Go across and do the same here, 3/4 inch up. I'm getting mixed up, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. I'm busy looking at the card instead of the ruler. So again, mark it lightly, and then when you know it's in the middle, give it a good deep mark at 6 centimeters. So from that point you want to score, and if you use the narrower end, the narrower ball tool of your tool, bring it down to that. Give it a good score. Oops. And the same from there over to this wee corner. And then from that centre point right up to the top. And do the same here. And that just gives you lovely wee neat triangles that will just automatically fold in without too much force. That's happening on the 2 narrow sections, which is your 2 side sections. Now that should be that done. So we'll want to round our corners when we have them out here. I'm just using the other side of the envelope punch board just to round the corners on that wee thing at the top. That's the wee closure. And now we can do our folds. Just give them a good old fold. That needs a wee trim there, and got that in straight. Now, we could now put on our DSP, which I have all cut here. These measurements will be on the blog. So, keep it all facing the right way. Isn't that the right way for that? That's the right way. So, you'll have a piece for each area. Just, whoops, don't put them upside down. Just choose your design. There's lots of designs in that garage, what do you call it? Classic garage 6x6. There's loads of different colours and they all tone in. There's a lovely selection of colours, black and tranquil tide, nice manly colours. So you should get a good wee bit out, no problem. So they're all going to go there. Just trying to make sure I put them the right way up. This one's going to go here, so we could round the corners of that one too. Now we'll want that one going down that way, so we'll round the corners of this side. I hope. Just 2 of the corners. So that will sit that way. Which means it's going to be upside down. Don't do it upside down. Should have done that last, shouldn't I? So we don't want to do that one yet anyway, because we want to add that wee circle. So everything else we can put on. And I'm just using my tape runner. I'm just putting it in place. Just keep it nicely lined up with the one above. Easy neighbour in there. Keep lining them all up. I'll tell you the measurements of each one in a second. Now, that one, I think I had, make sure you put a good wee bit of glue because we're actually going to slit that one to hold the wee closure. And the last one, so we want to add this. So this nearly brings you to the center point of that, and we want to stick that on there so that you've got a wee flap coming down to your closure. So I want to use wet glue on that because it definitely works best. So just glue the very top of that wee 1-inch circle that you punched. Just make sure it's central. That's pretty good. So now we can stick that over the top of that now, and that'll cover that. Keep it nice and tidy. Oh, it is upside. I was going to say I done it right, but I didn't. So make sure you do that last and punch your corners last, and then that'll, nobody will notice, like, but it's on there now. So to give you a good idea of where the closure is going to be, fold it once over this way and that, fold that down, and then use your pencil just to mark a rough line of where it's going to go. Or another way is when you get your packet done, you can do that. It's a wee bit more awkward, so do it the way I showed you. Just, I thought I had worked out another way. Where did I mark that? God, do put a good pencil line on it, not like me, because you can't see the dag thing. There's it there. Just use your ruler and where your pencil line is. I've lost it again. Flip me pink. Oh, there's it. You know this is 3 inches wide, right? So line your thing up with that line 3 inches wide, and we want the slit to sit between the 1 and the 2 inch and go slightly over. So draw yourself a straight line, and that's going to be your cutting line. So with your cutting blade, just cut that through and run the blunt end of your blade, not the cutting end, through there just to make sure. So you haven't actually cut that enough. We'll just try it again. Sharp as razors, huh? You are cutting through 2 layers, like. We'll go to the back side and give it a wee help. So that should be it. Use your tool instead of your knife. I don't want just cutting your hands. Give that a scoot through, rub off your pencil line. Not nice sitting there, sure it's not. And then we're going to do this closure. So a bit of glue on these. Wet glue preferably is what I'm using. You can use tape runner or permanent tape runner or turn tape. God, I have no brain, haven't I? So just fold that over, and that should all sit nicely. Now, before you do your bottom, pinch those 2 where you made that nice triangle. Just pinch it in. You're not making a milk bottle or a milk carton type thing. It is just a wee closure. So this will just tuck in to your scored closure if you have it pushed push the top end in, the bottom end out. The last box I actually cut another wee bit, so if you fancy trimming ever so slightly to make that a wee bit wider, you can. But I haven't, and it still works pretty good. So you want to keep everything going to the back, so fold that in, and this one's going to come towards us. That one there looks like it needs another wee trim. Just make sure you have no sticky out edges, and put a bit of wet glue. You can put a wee bit on those, just so they take, and a wee bit there. And just pop them all down. And that should take immediately. Seem to have pushed my wee inside there a wee bit too far. So fold that in, slot it in, and that's your closure. So now we want to decorate the front of it because it's just a wee bit plain. So I have cut myself, first of all, I wanted Happy Birthday instead of this stamp. Geared Up Garage has Happy Father's Day. I didn't want to do Father's Day, this is for birthdays. So as I want to stamp out the happy and the wee frame and leave out the Father's Day. So to do that I needed a Happy Birthday stamp, and I have used this one here. Happy birthday, but you just wanted the birthday. So the best thing to do is colour it in with your Stampin' Right marker in Tranquil Tide. Just colour it in just here, just cover it in a good colouring. Stamp this onto a scrap, don't cut it first, stamp it onto a scrap piece of Whisper White card so that you've room to then lay your die out of the matching die cuts. Lay your die over it, and then you know you've got that in the centre. Whenever I was doing that one, I did all this first and then did the birthday, and I got it slightly off centre and it's bugging me. So I think that's the best way to do it. So now you just get your other stamp and you're going to ink up the happy. When you're not inking it, you're colouring it. Just use the side of your marker and colour all that in. Avoid the bits you don't want. And we want the frame in, so we're going to go around there. We don't want that inner frame in, so be careful. Just the outer frame. And the bottom frame. And I also coloured in the wee knots. And there's another bit I don't want in. You really need to take your time with this. It's not good doing it on camera. So I'm hoping that comes out alright. If it doesn't, I will redo it when I come off camera, because you do just need to take your time. Now I'm going to have to put this on top of this. There's no way I'm going to be able to turn it and stamp it that way. So wish me luck. And inky fingers into the bargain is not very good. So line that up as best you can and press it down. I hope I've got that in the right place. Just keep pressing it till you're good and happy that it has picked up the ink, because there's no going back. It's not bad. It's not as good as I'd like it to be, so it came out much better that time. So you make your decision which way you want to go. I actually forgot to give a wee thing to wet the ink again, because it will dry quickly, you know, but it's okay. I think I will redo that, to be honest with you. I'm not overly happy with it, but that was another way of getting it. If you're really good and you can stamp measure your stamp at the back, maybe mark it on the back of your wee birthday. You could put a wee line, it starts here and it finishes here, because you know where they get the extra bit of rubber, you can't really gauge it when you have it upside down. So maybe try that way, do that the proper way, and not bother that way. It was just a wee version to try. Didn't work this time, but it could have been just my bad stamping. So get yourself the everyday label punch and punch yourself a label. And you're going to need a hole punch. So just use your pencil, mark the center of that circle and the center of that one, and give them a wee punch. Now we're just going to pop a bit of ribbon in there and just tie a wee knot. Do the same at the other side. You can trim those down again later if you're not happy with them. I'm a bit wary of sticking this on because I know I'm going to replace it, so I'm just going to put 2 on. I'll definitely pull that off. I don't like it at all. So I will redo it. It's just too blurry. All that movement. It's not going to work that way, so don't do it that way. Ugh, I left my box for a second and it hasn't went on straight. I'm having a good day, aren't I? Behave. Right, so okay, this is just going to be set on top of that. And then we're going to finish with the wee knotted double piece of ribbon. So get yourself a piece of ribbon, double it over, and just tie it in a knot. Whatever size you like, whatever. Doesn't, no rules. Spread those out so you're getting the benefit of 2 ribbons. Now you can use your mini glue dots or a bit of glue. I'm using this glue. It is slow, but it does eventually take. It just takes it a wee bit longer because it's ribbon. So just pop that up at the top. Hold it for a wee second. It really does take a wee second because it's ribbon. If it was card, it would be much quicker. So I'll just show you that while I'm holding it. It is a better effect. If you're going for a vintagey look, you could actually vintage up your papers, scrape them all down and just go with that effect if you want. Or if you're really clever, you'll get that better in the middle with me. I really have a crooked eye. So try it that way, which means you're stamping out your border. You have to use this again because you'll just not be able to do it with the Tranquil Tide stamp. So colour in this, your frame, stamp it onto your paper, cut it out, and then come back in with your birthday. And as I say, try and line it up so it's not too far off, but it is off and it's annoying me. So there, that's taken now. So there's 2 versions of it, 2 different types of papers, but both from the one section. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you give it a wee go, and if you do, let me see it. So I'll catch you next Tuesday. Bye.